Clutch. That is going to make up the Betterville roster. And then Era is going to consist of Kratos, Neptune, Musa, and Straight Sick. So Kratos, obviously one of those people who he took second at Global Championship. Was that 2016, last year's. And clearly having to work his way up through these Legendary Cups right now. So he's had a lot of highs and lows and such, but just goes to show the level of competition we have in the pro circuit and here, even in the Legendary Cups.
Well, not only that, but, you know, Kratos and this squad, too, same organization, came out very, very hot in DreamHack Atlanta. And keep in mind that these guys are getting prepared for DreamHack Denver. That's what all these Legendary Cups are building up towards. They're going up against a team of, again, it's weird to see these names coming back. Again, Gilkey popping up here. He's going to be teaming with Eli Elite, who he's no stranger to, you know, the big stage here in Vegas when he was making some huge, I guess, waves going into the free-for-all. So a big free-for-all player coming in here, but a very well-rounded team in Era, a very deadly team with Straight Sick and Kratos. Again, two veterans teaming up with these kind of up-and-coming players. Musa has a very strong overall game as well. So when you look at these two teams on paper, yes, you got to give the favor on over to Era. Will these guys on the other side be able to upset? I'm not sure. They're going to have to be having some big plays. But Legendary Cup number 2, we saw some big surprises. The games were much closer than we were expecting and anticipating. There's a reason why they've gotten all the way to this elimination semifinals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not luck. I believe they took out Doze eSports in, I want to say, a 3-2 fashion here from Betterville. So they came off a close series prior to this. And we're going to have to see if they can take it to Era here on Truth Capture the Flag, which is kicking off here on game number 1.
All right, Eli Elite starting off with him. He tweeted me earlier, said, can't wait for you to roast my gameplay. So let's find out somewhere where we can continually roast him. Hopefully he gets ground pounded to start. That'd be a great way to start. But Eli Elite, I like that. Flying on over towards the pink side. We're just messing with him. Good friends with Eli. And, you know, going in and getting pink control, definitely a solid way to start. And you got to give credit to Betterville for securing that side of the map early on. Musa, he's looking for a kill and not able to find it. Double kill coming in for Betterville. Gilkey, he's going to control top center, leaving pink side to go and try to take some different angles. Very interesting to see a player do that. You want to see someone else try to fill that position in behind him. You don't want to have two players top center like they just had. So Gilkey, he's going to elect to go underneath the base and try to stay alive, somehow able to live, but just with a minimal amount of shields. Has another player distracting on over towards the car side. Another player in the window, Straight Sick. He's going to find the player that was in the window. That was Eli Elite. You can see Straight Sick does drop, but Gilkey somehow managed to stay alive throughout all of this, but is unfortunately for Betterville the only guy alive, Dave.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Betterville's doing a great job being annoying over at the opposing base. One of the most frustrating moments I feel like in Halo is when you have someone who's weak in front of you and they just barely slip around a corner and get away from you, and then you just get pelted by shots by their teammates and get finished off before you can get your kill. And those carry over from life to life. A lot of times it's just so frustrating. You just start down yourself. You have this self-doubt where it's, all right, should I be charging a little faster to get this kill? Do I need to put myself in a worse position and get a little bit closer? And you never want to be thinking about that in individual fights. You just want to be playing your game, shooting your shots, and have everything work out in those ways. And so as soon as you start to doubt your, the most basic instinct in Halo, which is shooting and moving around and finishing off kills, you're in some trouble.
Gilkey trying to pull this flag bottom center to car 1 as Neptune was the last guy alive for Era, staying alive in the bubble, doing a great job distracting for his teammates to push on over towards the Betterville side of the map. They do get a flag touch, but you're going to see a flag standoff here coming up as Eli Elite with the crispy shots and over towards the pink side. Camo is going to be up, so Eli going to have to find this kill or elect to go for that camouflage, and there it is right there, grabbing that one right around that 41 mark. Is he going to get spotted out by the player on the street? You could see that was Musa. Gilkey going to find a kill onto Kratos, and a great use of this camo is going for the return, but his teammate going to hop onto that one. Pharaoh 2 Clutch helping secure the first flag capture. Eli almost getting embarrassed right there, but either way, 1-0 start here for the underdog.
Yeah, got the kill, and I liked how they both did not hop on the flag at the same time. Sure, there's certain situations where maybe you get desperate, you go in, you both hop in, get the recovery. Right there, they realized that the flag was already a quarter of the way recovered, or only had a quarter of the way left, I should say, and so they did not panic. They just sent out that one member, I believe it was Pharaoh 2 Clutch, who got that recovery and able to put in that first flag cap. However, taking a note from the previous series where we saw VT taking on Straight Rippin', first flag cap does not mean a game win, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. There's still 2 more flags that have to go in after that one, especially if the other team is going to be adding pressure right now, like Era currently is doing. You can see top center under control right now for Straight Stick. Going to have to keep his shields. He was sprinting out a little bit too early right there. Fortunately, had his teammate there to cover up that slack. 2 people going to drop underneath the base. Not ideal situation to be in right now for Era. They're going to have to get their shields and recharge back on over towards the top. Straight Stick doing whatever he can to try to get this flag continuing, but it is going to get returned there from Eli Elite. The back smack coming in from Straight Stick. Flag touch coming in, but you do have 2 people top center that you have to currently worry about. Great grenade flying in. Pharaoh 2 clutch with the slays, but look at Kratos immediately running that flag, already past the 50-yard line. Very fast flag run coming in, but that one again getting returned by Betterville. They are very fast right now with their objective efficiency.
Yeah, I want to give so much credit there to Pharaoh for that flag stop. Just that predictive nade throwing it in attic. That player wasn't even translating and showing that they were heading towards that direction. It's just playing this game so much and realizing, all right, we're top center. A good counter to top center is probably to go attic and jump top center yourself. And Pharaoh reading that play like a book and just throwing that grenade perfectly.
Musa has a nice flank over here towards the bubble side. Gonna have to get some slays though, and they do get traded out right there. You're gonna see Straight Stick, he's gonna drop. Musa finding the nice kill onto Gilkey. Is he gonna get in over towards the flag right now? Gonna charge, but there's the spawner popping up right at the perfect time. Nice trade right there coming in from both players, and that's what happens in those split-second decisions. You have to make up your mind. Am I gonna stay here and slay, or am I gonna push in towards the flag? If you kind of linger in between in the upside down zone, then you're going to end up getting taken down, and that's what happens. You don't want to go and hesitate in that situation. Unfortunately for Musa, the spawner came up there right at the right time. Gilkey, that's the flag kill that you need. We were talking about it earlier, Dave. If you are able to take out that initial guy touching the flag, 9 times out of 10, it should stop that flag cap, but we'll see. Neptune adding some more pressure. Eli Elite's going to trade out kills. Straight Stick finding it perfect, but he, again, is no shields over towards the top center of the map. Gilkey, the last guy alive, does find the kill onto Kratos, and this flag still hasn't gotten out quite yet. So again, struggling to get this flag out of the base right now from the Betterville side is Era. They need to get something going because we're already halfway through this one, Dave, and you would think that they'd at least have 1 flag capture on the board.
Yeah, and we haven't seen any great attempts. We did see Kratos getting that flag halfway across the map, doing a good start to that that previous flag attempt. But even right there, when we saw Straight Stick pushing in the base, Gilkey did such a good job staying alive for so long that Straight Stick was not comfortable grabbing that flag and moving across until Gilkey was dead. And by the time Gilkey died, it was too late. There was already 3 members of Betterville alive in the bubble, ready to stop and defend that new flag.
And another big series from Gilkey right there, finding a double kill in Pink 2. Looked like he shouldn't have got that trade, but was able to land down the necessary damage and get the melee off in Pink 2 just in time. Camouflage popping up here in the next 10 to 15 seconds. You're going to see all the players focusing on that one. Kratos, he's over towards top center, but really he's just trying to help the pink side of the map right now. Has Gilkey over towards Pink 2. Another player was in the window. Great job by Betterville clearing that area out, but they're going to have to worry about Straight Stick, who's over here on the street. Eli Elite going to find a kill onto Musa. Neptune answers with one on Gilkey, and then Pharaoh coming in with the cleanup. Here's the big play over towards the base with the camouflage popping up, and we saw teams do this earlier. Adding pressure over towards the enemy tunnel typically is going to buy you that time over towards the pink side, but you got to be careful right now if you're Betterville. If someone does overextend like Musa is, if Musa finds that 1v1, he could run this flag over towards the car side.
One thing I also want to point out, those are great points, Tom. But Eli Elite, right at the beginning when we switched over his POV, he had a wingman medal, meaning that he's gotten 5 assists without dying, just doing so much work laying down shots across the map. He needs to make sure he gets that flag a little further. Unfortunately, picking up that enhanced Magnum gets taken out, though. As he missed that flag, it must have hit the, kind of the roof of that bomb center area.
Unfortunately for Eli Elite, he couldn't land the top center jump. If he could have got that clamor over towards top center, maybe he jumps and throws that one in the window. Instead, we're in a one-on-one situation. Both the guys have the flag, but you got to give the advantage right now to Betterville because of the fact that they have the flag closer on the return side for them. It does get tossed out again over towards, I believe, top center this time, but Gilkey, he's going to find a kill. You're going to see a 2-on-2 situation, or 2-on-3 situation here in favor of Betterville. That return is there for Eli Elite if he wants to get it, but he can't get it. Straight Stick coming in there with the flag kill. Musa now down bottom center most likely, and is going to drop Pharaoh to clutch. So advantage on over to Era now after a very close series of events. seemed like it was going to be the second flag capture for Betterville, but now the pressure is starting to come in. Era flying in, they find 1 kill, make that 2 kills as Kratos looking for some more blood. That's Eli Elite underneath the base. He gets the kill, they hop on the return, and we're going to tie this one up 1-1 on the Era side of things. Another flag being ran. Dave, so many times we've talked about it over and over again when these flag standoffs happen. If you do get the flag return, most likely you're going to be able to get that flag touch and potentially run a second one. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah, generally if you're able to get that flag recovery, like you said, you have control of that side of the map. Kratos just a little late on getting those double kill right there, but that could have been a 2-1 lead there for Era. Either way, huge kills, huge tie-up right now, and I would say Era is in the driver's seat. They're doing a good job. They have control of Pink. You see 3 members of Betterville just kind of panic, trying to force some sort of action on Pink, but as Kratos staying alive here, just being a nuisance, is going to buy time, for his teammates to shoot across the map, just like that, as we saw Gilkey and Sneaky Brand both trying to push up that Pink streak. They both get taken out because of just buying time from Kratos.
Kratos looking for the triple kill, but Musa going to come in there playing the cleanup crew. You do see the spawners coming over towards the bubble side. Era going to run this over towards the spawns. Interesting strategy from Kratos. Doesn't pay off. Gilkey punishing him for that one, but it looks like they do have 3 dead. This flag's still alive. Neptune flying out. Great shots right there. Can he get the touch? It's right there for the taking. Instead, he's going to go for the slay and then turn around for the touch. Great teamwork right there coming in from Era and trying to finish what Kratos started. Kratos is going to drop on over to Eli Elite, but no one there for the touch. Betterville, all of a sudden, from being up 1-0, down 2-1.
Yeah, that was extremely surprising from Era being able to cap that one. It was a flag route I strongly disagreed with, and I just assumed as soon as we saw a couple kills from Betterville trading back at their base, I just assumed that flag was dead, but clearly just being completely resilient. We saw Era somehow bringing that one all the way back after getting a couple more kills over on car side of Betterville's base.
Gotta give credit to Brand though. He is playing fairly well. He's been popping up in the kill feed a ton, and we haven't had enough to watch his point of view. But either way, 2 minutes left. Can Betterville get some more flags on the board? That is the big question right now. You do see 2 players coming off the respawn from Betterville and getting 2 perfect. So they're definitely shooting well, but it's all about getting that objective work in right now. You see Brand now taking the angle, but Musa with the perfect shots. After he was perfect to get off of the spawn, he's going to come off of the spawn and do the exact same thing. Era, they started off rough, Dave, but it looks like you said, they have now controlled the pace of this game.
Yeah, they caught their stride, and it all came down to that flag standoff period. It felt like the rest of the time prior to that, we never saw Era make a good flag grab and attempt. Sure, they had a couple decent pushes inside the base, and they'd get the flag like halfway across, but never once did I feel like, all right, this is a 100% Era flag. After that standoff, though, they're in situations like almost immediately afterwards, they almost had a 100% flag grab for that counter cap or the double cap. And then that other period of time where I was like, oh, I'm counting them out of this one. There's no way they're going to cap this car side flag. Era just persisted through and capped it through. So they just seem to know how to scrap together some of these caps.
Musa with the big shots right there onto Eli Elite. That should stop that flag capture. 47 seconds left. That's all that Betterville has to work with here to get the second flag capture on the board. Doesn't look like it's going to happen because they are dropping left and right. Pharaoh, he drops. Gilkey, he drops. Eli, he's no shields. It's going to be up to Sneaky Brand to do something, but you do see Era, they're not worried about trying to run this clock out. They want that third and final flag capture, and why not? They've gotten 2 in the last 2 minutes or so. The aggression and pace of the game has all been in their favor. Gilkey finds a double kill, but with 18 seconds left, unless they magically get someone on over towards the Era side of the base, it's most likely going to be all she wrote.
Yep, and Kratos doing a good job just trying to keep away any members of Betterville, just isolating them out. He realized he does not have to be all the way back on his flag to do it. In fact, some of the best defense is just taking up more real estate on the map, getting control of pink side or car side, so you have multiple angles to fight anyone who is pushing in on your base.
Great game number 1 here in the elimination semifinals. Betterville versus Era. Era taking the first one 2-1. You saw what happened, Dave, and you pinpointed exactly. It all came down to that flag standoff. Look at those assists coming in from Pharaoh to Clutch. 22, 24, and 25 overall from him. Kratos with a decent amount of assists on the other side, but Musa, 30 and 26, the only player to go positive on that side. So very interesting to see it. That's how things pan out.
Yeah.
Very, very
Era
close
getting
game, though.
outslayed. actually and winning still. So they got outslayed by 2 kills, which is a pretty negligible amount. But regardless, that's still impressive. Being
But that just
outslayed and winning by 1
But
cap.
that just goes to show you how much control Betterville had up until that initial flag standoff. And once you start giving these teams momentum, especially a team that plays so emotional, like any type of team with Kratos on it, most likely is going to, get really fired up. And we saw back in the day, I believe it was Naded, Denoxide, and Kratos. I'm not sure who the fourth was, but they would just scream the call out to the top of their lungs in their scrims, and it seemed to be working out for them. However, when they started to lose, that's when the team would be very susceptible to going on some very poor runs. Once you start giving these guys any type of room and any type of wiggle room and feel like any opportunities that they're going to grab, they're going to take them. And that's exactly what happened right there. Even though it wasn't an immediate counter cap, they still controlled the pace after that for a good, 30% of the game. They had it, but the pace when they did control it resulted in 2 flag captures compared to Betterville when they controlled it for a good 60-70% only resulted in 1 flag capture.
It's true that momentum is different for different squads. You could see a squad, someone like Optic Gaming, they'll kill 3 or 4, and there's just going to be calm, cool, and collected. Whereas you'll see someone like Kratos, and he'll finish off a 1-shot and just be screaming like he got an overkill. And one thing we talked about before is Naded. We talked about him being kind of like this loud or emotional player who has some high highs and low lows. Kratos also falls in that same category, I would argue. He's a very emotional player. When he is on fire, he is so tough to stop. He is so good. Same time, too, he can also fall flat. We've seen some lackluster performances from Kratos when things have not been going his way.
Exactly. So now we move into Slayer on Eden. Era playing from the blue side. Curious to see who the sniper rifle player is going to be. Is it going to be Straight Sick, who most likely would be my vote for best sniper player on the team. Kratos looks like he's going to go and shoot that grenade on over towards the barrel to blow the grenade, or blow the barrel up, excuse me, and Kratos looks like he votes himself as the guy to go for the sniper rifle.
That's interesting because in most cases, like you talked about before, the starting sniper is the one that you can usually determine who's it gonna go to. Like we used to go through that all the way back in Halo 3. It's like, who grabs the initial sniper on Pit or Narrows or whatever happens to be, and I guess I'm not sure if I would say if Kratos is the strongest sniper on this team. I could, Kratos is a good sniper, but I'm not sure if he's as strong as someone like Straight Sick or
Kratos is the new Killer N.
Killer N was a godlike sniper, man.
He was the guy that whenever you were on his team, you knew that you were not picking up the sniper rifle. But there it is, Kratos, the new Killer N. Ends up connecting onto Gilkey with the body shot, but you do see the sniper down over towards the red SMG area. That's not the area that you want to have it. Neptune finds it, is able to escape with his life. Had to wait for his shields. Gilkey, he's smelling blood over towards the red flag side. Nice 1v1 happening between both of the players. Kratos answering with the perfect kill, though, in a pretty good situation for Gilkey. He ends up getting traded out. So again, you got to give credit to Kratos. Not the player that you would, again, think that he gets the sniper rifle or, is going to have the perfect shots, but he's definitely been seeing some improvements in that side of things.
Yeah, and that's no discredit to his ability with the sniper rifle. It's just happens to be so many teams prioritize a certain player if they had to choose just one to pick up that weapon. Like the old Straight Rippin', it always was Renegade at one point. It's like you'd even see the likes of someone like Ace dropping the sniper for Renegade, protecting him. So clearly they must have a more equal distribution, or they maybe favor and say Kratos is one of, if not our best sniper here on this era roster.
Gotta watch out for those Hydra launchers, Neptune. They're flying in over towards top catwalk area. You can see the setup coming in right now for Betterville. That's because Overshield is popping up here in the next 15 seconds, expected to be right around that 9:50 mark. Neptune's gonna have to connect on those shots. Does hit on the second one, switching on over to the battle rifle. Connects with the headshot right there onto Pharaoh. Can he find the triple kill? Sneaky Brand is sitting there just trying to give it to him, and he does. Switches again on over towards the battle rifle to find it. Not the prettiest triple kill in the world, but we're gonna give it to him. Neptune looking for some more blood. Has 2 members over towards the red BR, but those players, wise decision to back down from that.
I like how both actually checked it out, I believe. I think we saw 2 different players check it out, like, there's a sniper over there, Blue Bandit. You're lying, man. Let me check. Oh yeah, dude, there actually is a sniper over there.
It was like, wait, is that his triple kill? Because I don't want to give him the clip. I don't want to give him the overkill. But let's see what Neptune has in store. Give this man a killing spree, looking for the flying no scope. Again, that battle rifle doing some serious work, almost getting himself another triple kill. Betterville, they need to slow things down. Just because things exploded over the last minute and they didn't have that push as planned over towards the overshield doesn't mean to continue and try to push over and over again, just giving these guys free kills. You got to slow it down. I do agree with adding pressure onto the sniper guy, but there comes a point in time where you got to say, hey guys, no useless cess, let's formulate a plan. The first plan looked fairly clean. It just wasn't executed well enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, when the game picks up and it's fast-paced, either you're in a neutral situation, like if you aren't dictating the pace of the game and it's really fast-paced, it's either a completely neutral situation, or more likely, the other team has control and they want it to be fast-paced. They want to roll their numbers advantages into as many fights as possible. So unless your team has gotten a pick or two and you're charging, in most cases you should be thinking out, all right, should I be trying to make this fast-paced, or should I try to slow it down right now? And if you don't know the answer to that question, you should probably be slowing it down.
That's right. So make sure that you guys ask yourselves that question.
I mean, I give myself a 20-question questionnaire every single time I'm playing.
There's a whole checklist. There's a whole checklist. A, B, C, D, or E. All of the above. Sometimes F. None of the above.
Oh man, those are the worst on tests too. When you get them back in the day, when it'd be like, when D and E would be like C and B, or that one would be like A and C. It's like, oh come on, man, you're throwing in different combinations. The first three, not cool.
Yeah, my strategy was just, don't show up for the test. No,
my brother's strategy was he would say on multiple choice tests he would go abacadabra, and so he'd A B B A C A D A B A.
How'd that work out?
He didn't do so hot.
Oh man, that's unfortunate for him, but
it's a good rhyme if you're finishing up the last 5 or 10 minutes of the test. You don't have enough time to actually look through the questions. If you're on like a standardized whatever, what's the Scantron test? Yeah, one of those. Either way,
it changes
abacadabra it out.
It changes from state to state, but either way, 13 kills to make up right now. If you're Betterville, it can be done, but it's going to have to happen with Gilkey, who did find the overshield and did find that sniper rifle. Eli Elite with the battle rifle, so maybe he can do some work. But Gilkey already off to a nice start right there, ripping off Neptune's face. We're going to find his point of view and see how much ammo. He only has 1 bullet left, so not enough to do some serious work. They're going to have to wait for this next sniper rifle to come up, maybe the next overshield. But I like this play from Era. Slow it down. Why not, right? You can just milk it for everything that it's worth. We're already almost to this halfway point in terms of the score when it's 16 to 29 now. But if you look at that clock, 6.5 minutes, if things started to really get out of control for Era, they could just run out the clock.
Yeah, that's true. And in most cases, too, generally you just want to give your opponents as many opportunities to make mistakes. It's really tough in most cases to coordinate a perfect push where you're collapsing in from multiple angles. It's easy to run around with a teammate and go around a corner and like collapse into or to run into blue base with a buddy system sort of situation. However, when you are met with equal force, like a couple members over at blue, and you're trying to push them from blue bend, those kind of are 50-50 fights, and in order to turn the tide of that, you need to have different angles coming through, and those are the pushes that are really tough to coordinate, to perfectly have the right timing where you're pushing someone in from one side of the base and having to collapse into the other one. And right now, Era is just basically saying, I don't know if this team has that coordination, so we might as well sit back, wait till we can get a weapon in our hands or a power-up in our hands, and then we'll make a move. No point in just making mistakes for them and giving them kills.
Nice snipe right there from Eli Elite. You're seeing a trading kills coming in, but that's not what Betterville needs at this time. They need something a little bit more. They're going to need a big spree here with Eli Elite and this sniper rifle. Still plenty of ammo there. Overshield, not sure what happened to it throughout all of this time, but that is definitely a big contention point right now. You saw multiple players posturing outside. Neptune, big kill onto Pharaoh's 2 clutch. That's going to open up the map right now for Era to start getting aggressive. Gilkey at least being able to answer, but now they're on the ropes, trapped on over towards Blue Alley, waiting for their shields to recharge, and multiple players pushing out towards them. The way to counter that is hit your no-scopes, and that's what Eli Elite did right there, going big when his team needed to. 5 shots left in this sniper rifle, Dave, and I mean, those are some great body shots, but he's honestly going to need to connect with a handful of headshots here with this deficit. 11 kills to make up, and again, they're just trading kills on the other side of the map. So many times the furthest person that's pressed up for Betterville has been dying.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to have happen. You want to slow it down, and unfortunately right there, we saw Eli get a little too comfortable, gets picked off, and there are 3 down for Betterville. As soon as things started to look up for them, as soon as they were, what was like a 9 or 10 kill deficit, that just expanded and ballooned really quickly. So this is going to be a really tough one for them to come back from, because Sniper's still not coming up for a minute and a half. I'm not sure the situation on Overshield. I'm guessing that'll be up around like the 3:45 mark. But regardless, it might be just too late. I mean, even if they sit around, get the perfect Overshield, There's
Yeah.
Gilky's by just getting some disrespect right there from some Battle Rifle and from some
Ouch.
Hydra shots. So right there, Era sending a statement just saying that they are so much better in this game right now.
Looks like Era most likely going to go up here. 2-0 in this series as Kratos finding the 46th kill. Overshield, it is going to be popping up here any second, but Neptune not even worrying about that. They're just trying to go for this steak dinner here, 49-29. And Dave, it was, I believe, a 13-kill game at one point, and then they brought it back down to
It's like
6
9?
or 7.
Yeah.
Maybe 9. I want to say, we'll say it was 7 or 8, right?
Yeah.
But think about it. Right after that, it went right back up to 15 kills. If Betterville does what Era does to them right there, then the game's tied. So it's very unfortunate, for Betterville that they couldn't get anything going with the weapons. And when you look at the assists as well, only 1 assist coming out from Sneaky Brand. That's just not going to cut it in a Slayer. That's just not enough teamwork coming in. They were turtling a little bit too much. The plans seemed to falter, but the setups were very, very lackluster, especially when Eli Elite had that opportunity there towards the very end. I think it was Pharaoh's 2 clutch ends up giving that first kill on over, and then the rest of the team just started to collapse and trade. And when you have a setup, you have to go on a spree. You don't just go and say, all right, we're going to, catch up and maybe go from a 13-kill deficit to a single-digit deficit to 8 or 9 kills. That's your opportunity to make huge runs. They didn't do it right there. Era punished them the entire game. And it doesn't seem like, again, after that flag return that happened, that the pace of the game or series has been back in Betterville's control.
No, it has not. I mean, that game of 50-29 is an absolute statement on Slayer. The part that's most surprising to me is what you pointed out earlier, and just saying that in a situation where they had control, you're allowed to, you're allowed to have deaths. It's inevitable that you're going to probably lose a sniper. You're not going to always make the full use of that full set of ammo.
Which is too
but
easy,
there's a big difference between not making full use of your sniper and having literally all 4 players fall. And without a single return kill.
The thing that you can't have is you can't have your first player dying in a setup. That is just key, because that means that guy is extremely out of position, or that you're not baiting him well enough, right? Maybe the sniper was supposed to be watching in a certain area and we didn't hear the communication, but at the same time, you have to be responsible for your own life, and you should never be in that vulnerable position to die in a situation where you have a full setup. That means that 1, you were spotted and you gave up your position, but 2, you didn't position yourself well enough to get away from any potential single or double team that ended up coming through. But it's just scary to see, because not only did they not control their setup, they all filtered into Blue Alley. So that's just extremely worrying, that they're falling in from outside and just they're collapsing within themselves. And that's not what you can afford to do. You can't just be pushed around like some log in the ocean. Like, you have to be doing the pushing. You have to be controlling the pace of the game. And that's exactly what Era was doing right there. They almost bullied them when Betterville had a setup.
That was totally bullying. We'll have to call that, instead of the closet, it'll be the blue locker. You're going in the locker.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Strongholds on rig. Hopefully we didn't scare anybody with flashbacks being stuffed into their locker. Dave was a big bully. You could see he's ripping out of his shirt right now, getting ready for this Thor Ragnarok movie. But we know that you're cosplaying as Hulk for Halloween, Dave, but I'm still working on my costume, so give me a while.
Yeah, dude. As if you haven't figured out already, I only bring 1 shirt to these events, and this was one of the times I was like, man, I either gained a little weight or muscle, or this shrunk a little bit last time I washed it. So we'll have to see if I'm going to use this shirt again next time I cast.
Never wash on warm or hot. Always go on cold if you don't want your clothes to shrink. I don't know. That's just what I've been being told. Don't quote me on it. But either way, we have some Halo being played. Betterville, they do need something going here. They need some weapons in their favor. They need camouflage. They need strongholds, a triple cap, anything to get their callouts going again, because they looked so strong in the beginning of this series. They controlled the entire pace of CTF Truth up until about 70% into that game, where Era had this fantastic flagpole that ends up going into their favor. They have not let up ever since, and they've still been trying to find their footing on the Betterville side of things. Straight Sick not helping that cause at all, shutting down Gilky immediately. And now we're going to have to see what Brand has.
Well, as you said before, at the very beginning of this series, they showed a lot of life. They got that first capture. So they're going to have to show something else here, Tom, if they're going to be able to bring this one back.
That's for sure. All right, let's see what happens here as Brand controls the white corner, and he gets taken out, and that's one of those areas that has a highly, high price tag on it there. It's great to go for, but sometimes if you don't control that area, you're going to find other players flooding into it. Straight Sick, he's done a great job with the scatter shot so far, but now finds himself in a little bit of a position where he's trying to control this nest, but wants to go for the white hole because camouflage is popping up around that 950 mark, as it typically does here on Rig and really every map. It's kind of like the no-wall power-up time that's coming up. Everybody kind of posturing over towards the middle right here, besides Pharaoh 2 Clutch, who's controlling the spawns. And Pharaoh 2 Clutch, he's going to rotate on over towards the basement, but what happened with that camouflage throughout the entire time? You do see Straight Sick with the railgun and Neptune with the scatter shot. So while it's great to get that basement in your control, here come the guys with the weapons, and it could get ugly.
Yeah, that's always tough. Empire is probably one of the bigger representations of this when, desperately giving up your life for a stronghold and then getting killed and getting retaken. But basement right here is another great example, like you said, where the opposing squad can let you take basement for just that moment. But if they have the high ground with scattershot and railgun and execute properly, it can just be shut down instantly. And so Gilkey getting taken out from the receiving end of a Straight Sick railgun.
And you see the triple cap, it comes in right there. Eli Elite with the camouflage, but Straight Sick with this railgun has been unstoppable. Haven't seen him miss a shot quite yet. Now only has one bullet in it. Let's see if he does, and finally is going to miss a shot as they do go for the basement. And now making their way on over towards the nest. It ends up going from a triple cap in favor of Betterville on over towards a double cap in favor of Era. But still, throughout all of that, milking a couple of points, that's what Betterville needed to do. Just keeping this one competitive, keep it within striking distance, and just trying to, milk time and milk objective where they can, because control has not been in their favor. And it's kind of surprising to see them even get points when Straight Sick was going on that miraculous spree.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's credit to Betterville for doing a better job as far as getting some control and getting the other slays. So maybe, obviously a lot of times one POV does not tell the full story of how a team is doing. We've seen individual players go on some sprees and seeing their team absolutely losing. But at the same time, too, I'm wondering about Era's strategy a little bit here. They seem to be pressuring BR base pretty hard. Even beforehand, at the very beginning of this match, we saw Straight Sick trying to help hold like this nest BR-based setup, and that poor man setup, as you coined, Tom, is a very temporary thing in my eyes. It should be one of those things that you hold in desperate situations towards the very end of a game, or it just naturally happens during some chaotic turmoil situation where nobody has the full set that they really like. But by no means do I really ever see teams wanting to desperately push out and get that and prioritize that. Whereas Era, as we see right now, are kind of doing that. Like right there, Lil Neptune's main objective was go over and get BR base, and because of that, they lost nest and basement.
They did, and it's kind of weird to see teams going on over towards that side when a lot of teams are trying to trap players on over there. But either way, you are going to see now a rotation on over towards the basement, but you're going to have to get this basement and then rotate on over towards the nest. But instead, again, they want to clear out this BR base, and sometimes that's just a bad play. And Straight Sick right there ends up getting and flying in there, costing him his life. And if Musa doesn't end up winning this 1v1 as he does win it, pretty fortunate for them that Pharaoh 2 Clutch, doesn't end up getting the grenade there. But Eli Elite somehow stealing basement throughout all of that. They do get the nest, but you're looking at a triple cap right now if Pharaoh 2 Clutch wins his 1v1 on over towards the nest bridge. So you go from having basement and having BR base and having an easy rotation on over towards nest. If you're Era, you could have controlled basement and controlled nest and trapped those guys on over towards BR. Now you're giving Betterville an opportunity to get back into this series. It just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But end of the day, it just seems like they're outslaying them so heavily. Era is just completely controlling this one. Unlike the earlier game, I believe it was on True CTF, where we saw Era get outslayed by a couple kills and still win the game. That's not going to be the case here. It feels like Era, if they win this one, are going to be outslain fairly heavily.
But you got to be careful because, while you are looking great to go up and win this series 3-0, excuse me, you got VT waiting for you on the other side. And those mistakes are not going to fly against a higher caliber of team.
That's true. Very true. I've always been a big proponent of, certain people just say, oh, well, it works, so it's got to be the right decision, correct? And it's not really how it works. I mean, when you have so many kills across the map, you can legitimately do any strategy you want. You could do 2 laps around the map before capturing a stronghold, and just because it worked, does that make it right? And I would argue clearly not. Like,
What about the victory lap back in the day with
the
the
victory
flag?
lap? That is
You ever-
actually valid.
I love the victory lap. I don't know if you guys know what the victory lap is, but go ahead, Dave. Explain the victory lap.
Victory lap is when you're just dominating a team in an online scrim or in a match, and you have the flag all the way back to your base. And most teams
go,
are
you know
kind of
what?
starting
That's
to give
not
up.
enough.
It's not enough. You got to do a full one more lap around the map. It's most known for on midship, I would say, is doing that victory
I like doing
lap.
it on the pit.
On the pit?
Yeah.
We'd always do it on midship because there was just a lot of places to take that flag. It's kind of like the Olympic torch. Like, you'd bring it up towards pink 2, you'd bring up to each bubble, and then you'd bring it all the way back home to where it belongs.
That's good. That's good. But yeah, so pretty much you get the flag back to your base, and then you bring the flag in your hand back to where you originally grabbed it, back at their base, and take a lap around. It's next level strategy, guys. Check it out when you get a chance. But Betterville, they're hanging in there, Dave. They are trying to make this as competitive as possible. We'll see what happens. We did see in the previous series, BT, they kept it competitive. They didn't fall short in that Empire Strongholds. They pushed it to a game number 4 against Straight Rippin', and heck, almost pushed it to a game number 5. But we have seen some mistakes from Era in Strongholds, some fairly big errors in terms of objective efficiency, and now they're sitting in a situation where they may need to get desperate over here towards the nest.
Yeah, and I still haven't seen their strategy change much. I mean, as we know,
Fly
at the
towards
end there,
BR?
yeah, fly towards BR. Like, Little Neptune was flying towards BR base once again, trying to hold them off it. And, you know, one of his teammates was grabbing basement clearly because they were able to get those trades. But end of the day, like, I will trade BR base for nest or basement any day of the week. I want to be spawning in different positions
They just
outside
traded
bunker.
it right there. They just traded nest for basement right there.
Not a trade I want to be making.
Ooh, big win right there from Pharaoh 2 Clutch. He even throws a grenade right there towards the basement window to buy some time for his teammate. Now he's going to rotate on over, but Straight Sick with the railgun doing it again. Now Kratos going to have to find the scatter shot kills, is able to do so. Now you're going to see the aggression coming in over towards BR base. This is where they got to go towards Nest, though. They have to leave this and say, all right, guys, no reason to go for BR. Let's control Nest Bridge and control Whitehall. That's what they finally did. Can they control this Nest? It only is a sliver away, and they grab it. Big plays coming in from Era. Only maybe 2 more pushes for Betterville before it's all over.
Yeah, and Gilkey just caught in a tough situation right there. It looks like his team was about to be successful, pushing on over towards that nest, but just got shot down. There's a player still staying alive under nest, and I'm not sure how Betterville are going to break out of this one. I feel like they could capitalize on Era making a potential mistake here, but this one may not be a mistake for once as they get the trip cap and hold on to nest and basement. So right there, this is going to be a Era 3-0 victory here in the elimination bracket semifinals.
That was the time to push on over towards the BR base. They had the numbers, they had the positioning, and they only needed to secure that last stronghold to put enough time on the board to mathematically eliminate Betterville. Well-fought series from Betterville. They looked extremely strong in game number 1. Pretty good fight there in game number 3, but very short in game number 2, 50-29. That's going to be a bad taste in their mouth going into Legendary Cup number 4. But you got to give them credit making it this far into elimination bracket. Seeing their names pop up here, very refreshing to see these guys after grinding it out so hard in Halo 5 finally making some waves here. But again, 3-0.